I'm feeling a little nervous because I've been saying that I'm going to start a YouTube channel, I don't know, since like maybe freshman year of high school. We're here. I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions because I'm pregnant. I have a baby growing inside me, which is insane. I've been pregnant. I'll answer the first question that everyone's had for 4 months. So I am not new to this, really. It feels very settled in that it's happening and I'm gonna have a baby. So with that being said, now that everyone knows that I'm pregnant, I did a little question box on my Instagram and asked people if they had any questions about the first trimester, pregnancy, finding out all the things. And so I'm going to go through and answer some of your questions, give you all of the tea on what this pregnancy has been like so far. Were we trying? Were we not? So most commonly asked question was, when am I due? I'm due early March. We're so excited. It feels like March is getting really close. When we first found out, I was like, oh, we have forever. It's going to take forever to get here. And now I'm like, oh wow, I'm almost halfway through. This is going by really fast. Decently far along out of the first trimester. I experienced so many things in the first trimester, which is one of my questions of what all my symptoms were. And you guys, I totally have a new respect for moms and for pregnant people. I did not understand. I thought I would be totally fine. I thought that all these things were kind of like maybe dramatic or pulling the pregnancy card because they can, which I think is great. I'm all for that. But it's really rough, guys. I was super sick, constantly felt nauseous, had the most intense food aversions. Poor Harry was thrown for a loop because I normally like to cook. I normally like to eat. No. Well, my symptoms didn't kick in until 6 weeks. I found out at 4 weeks. So 6 weeks rolled around. It hit me like a train. So 6 weeks until probably 14 weeks, I was down bad. Crazy sense of smell. I could not open up the fridge for weeks because the smell would make me gag. I would walk into the kitchen, gag. Funny things where I'm like, oh, okay. The fact that I'm drinking this coffee right now feels so surreal because I was convinced I was done with coffee forever. Like, the smell would really get me bad. So Harry did not make coffee in the house. Like, so many things like that. This was probably the craziest thing that I just like had never experienced before. And I have friends with chronic illness and autoimmune diseases, and I feel like I have a little bit of a better understanding of what this is like. But having fatigue that just feels like on a cellular level, like you are just so exhausted constantly. That was my first trimester. Like the amount of photos that Harry has of me just taking a nap. And like the craziest thing was just that one day it was gone. It was like 14 and a half weeks came around. And I was convinced that this was like gonna be my story for my pregnancy, just because I was like, I do not see the light at the end of the tunnel, like it's not getting better. And one day it was gone. I felt normal since, which is so weird. Hope. So if you're in the middle of your first trimester, it might get bad, but I promise you that it gets better. Okay, let's see what else people like about gender and if we picked out a name already. We don't know the gender yet. We are planning on finding out, so we'll figure that out probably in the next month or so. Maybe do like an intimate little like gender reveal with just Harry and I. But we don't have a name picked out yet. Honestly, like haven't really talked about names a whole lot yet. I have like the classic baby names list on my phone that I've had since high school. I feel like a lot of those names aren't really fitting the way that I thought they would. I feel like once we know if it's a boy or girl, that'll help a lot. So no names yet. Okay. One question was, have I felt the baby move yet? And that was such a sweet moment. Honestly, like all the moments where you like have your first of like finding out, that was such a crazy experience for us. And then even just like going into the doctor for the first time, hearing the heartbeat, feeling the baby move, all these things are just so surreal. And you're like, how is this happening? Like, did I grow up and be an adult and now I'm having a baby? Start first with like the finding out. Finding out was really, really sweet for us. We had been trying, so that was something that honestly, it was just like such an answered prayer. When we first got married, trying felt so far away just because we really wanted to like soak in being married, and we were kind of doing everything that we could to not. So the idea of having kids was kind of scary at first. After like the first month of us trying and it didn't happen, you're like, oh wow, like kids are such a blessing, like babies are such a gift. And the thing about me is I've always wanted to be a mom. I pretended to run away when I was little, and literally the only thing I brought was my stroller full of all of my American Girl dolls and Bitty Babies. This has just been a really sweet season for me because I really feel like I'm stepping into what God created me for. When we're trying, you're always kind of like, oh, each month you're like, if it didn't happen for you, you're like, is it ever going to happen? So much of the times that we would like pray about it and I would talk to the Lord, I would really just be like, God, this is something I like desire so deeply. I want to get to the point where I trust you enough where if it doesn't happen in my timeline or even ever, that like you're still good. And I honestly would just overthink it a lot. Like it would just be something that I was constantly like fearful of. And that was something I realized that I would even say when I was growing up. Like if someone asked me my biggest fear, I was afraid of not being able to ever have kids. So it's like this funny thing where I'm like, oh, I'm literally facing my biggest fear in a way because I don't know if it'll ever happen. So long story short, we've been trying for about 4 or 5 months. Honestly, I just felt like I was supposed to lay down any like fears. And when I say lay down, honestly just be like, God, this is my fear and this is scary and I don't really know what to do with it, but I'm going to just like be like, here you go. With that, whatever happens to happen and not be resentful of whatever the results are. I was tracking like crazy. I was like a little crazy person. And so I check my ordering all the time, do like ovulation stuff, and I was like, I don't want to be focused on that. I want to just be focused on trusting you. I'm not gonna step on the pulpit right now because I like go completely there. But the Lord moved like in a crazy way for us and I felt like He just said to stop tracking, so I stopped tracking. And we went on a trip to Europe and it was so much fun. And so about a week after we got back from Europe, I had this crazy dream and I was like, Harry, I have to tell you about this dream I had. In my dream, we were at our bathroom counter and there was a bunch of pregnancy tests all over. I was holding one more, but looking at all of the other ones, I knew they were all negative. And so whenever I was holding the one pregnancy test in my hand, I knew before I flipped it over that it was positive. It was one of those dreams. Obviously not every dream is from the Lord. I have the craziest dreams. I don't believe that they're all from Jesus. Of them just feel like they are 100%. Like you're like, wow, I felt that in my heart. Like it resonated so much differently than all these crazy dreams. I knew that was from the Lord very quickly after waking up. And he starts laughing when I'm telling him this. He's like, that's crazy. Because I actually had the same dream a week ago and didn't feel like I was supposed to share it yet with you. And he tells me the dream and it's literally exactly the same. Test on the counter, flipping it over together, like all of those things. And honestly, my brain didn't go to the place of like, oh, like, we're gonna have a baby, like we're pregnant. Because it just felt like I couldn't get my hopes up. So I ended up kind of tossing that to the side for a little bit, not really focusing on it. And a couple days later, we decided to take a test. I bawled my eyes out. We obviously found it is positive, and it's just so cool that the Lord literally like told us that was gonna happen a couple days before it actually did. Finding out was really sweet. Going to the first appointment was kind of low-key stressful. Like I just had a little bit of fear still lingering because I just wanted to make sure that baby was okay. Being able to see the baby, seeing it was just insane. Like you're like, wow, this is actually happening. Everything was healthy, everything was good, and whenever I felt the baby move for the first time, that was wild because like a rule book on like, oh, this is what it's gonna like feel like whenever you feel it move for the first time. There's one time when I kept feeling like the same feeling in the same exact spot. This was at 15 weeks. I was just like kind of like rubbing my tummy being like, oh, like this feels so funny. And I had the thought pop into my brain, I'm like, wait, it actually could be like the baby. I had one of those like at-home Dopplers that we bought. I wonder if I would put the Doppler there if I pick up the heartbeat, which I tried picking up the heartbeat before and I could not find it, so probably not gonna happen for me. The moment that I tried it and put it on the spot that I felt it, I found the heartbeat and I was like, oh my gosh, like that was a baby. Like we went to one of our appointments at 12 weeks. Ultrasound tech was like, wow, you got a wild one on your hands because it will not stop moving. Yes, it moves a ton. Let's see what other questions we got. Someone asked if Harry and I found out at the same time or how I told him. We found out at the same time. Harry would love if I never take a test by myself because he just wants to be there for it. So we'll probably finding out with any of our future kids together. The question that we also did get is, are we staying in LA now that we are having babies? And yes, I think. I don't know. Currently, we are planning on staying in the house that we have. The goal is to probably stay in this house for another year or so, and then maybe we'll move. We also really don't know, so we'll figure that out. Okay guys, I feel like that kind of wraps up all the questions that you guys had on Instagram. I kind of think that we're in this journey together. I have no idea what it's going to be like to be a mom. I'm excited, and I'm excited to share the process with you guys, and we're going to figure it out together. If you are a mom and you have any tips or anything that you absolutely think I should have for my registry, I'm trying to work on that and actually like feel so overwhelmed. So any tips are totally welcome, and I'm excited to be finally doing this, and there will be many more videos to come. And if you want to see any of my other content, you can check out Instagram. I'll link that down below as well. But thank you guys for watching. Bye guys.